What's up, party people, and welcome back to my channel. So today we are doing a full face of makeup from the Ulta Beauty Collection. I've tried a few things here and there, and I have found some amazing products from their collection, but I feel like I've not really tried enough to be able to firmly say if the Ulta Beauty Collection is something that's worth checking out. I've got everything from eyeshadow to mascara, foundation, cheek products. Like, I've got so many good things that, like, just by touching and swatching it in the store, I feel pretty confident about. But yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, let's do a full face of makeup from start to finish using only things from the Ulta Beauty Collection. One of my all-time favorite products from the collection is this Ulta Beauty Matte Nude Eye Primer. And they give these for free in their gift sets, like their little gift bags, all the time. Like, if you spend so much, you get a free little gift bag. So I've gotten 2 or 3 of these little sample sizes that do last a long time just by getting these little free gift bags. But normally it's like $12 for a full size, and this is legit the best eye primer I've ever used. If you're someone that likes a concealing eye primer but you don't want to use concealer because usually they're too hydrating and they just melt they just melt off, like, this is the best one. Funnily enough, I don't know if I used up the one that I had or if my little girl misplaced it and put it in a different drawer, because one of her hobbies is to move my makeup around, so I can't find it. But just know that my heart belongs to the Ulta Matte Nude Eye Primer, and it's one of the reasons that I even want to explore more of the Ulta Beauty Collection. So starting off with eyeshadow, I have this Everyday Faves eyeshadow palette, which is normally $20. So it's just a really nice everyday palette, I feel like. But looking at it, it kind of looks dull. It kind of looks just lackluster. Yeah, until I swatched this, I didn't really see much about it, but this swatched so beautifully. Like, the shadows seem to be so soft, buttery, pigmented, like very, very high quality and super finely milled. So there are 5 of the shimmers. So everything else in the palette is matte. But yeah, I know they look kind of like meh. They look kind of dull whenever you like swatch on the finger, but oh my god, like, you really have to go up to it in store and just touch it and play with it, because these are so opaque, and I feel like the shade selection is really so universal and just very pretty, and like, you could definitely get a lot of use out of this if you like neutral tones. Ooh, the mattes are so soft. Yeah, extremely soft. Like, I'm telling you, I really didn't expect very much from this, and that's why, I mean, this has been out for a very long time, and I never really had the desire to pick it up, because looking at it, number one, like I said, it looks kind of lackluster, but honestly, like, just the shades and the pans themselves don't look like they would be very much. But that is so freaking smooth and buttery. And then we'll put the remaining 2 right there. So there is the lineup. How many shades are there? 12 shades. So yeah, 12 pan palette for $20, which isn't bad. I mean, it's not the most affordable, but yeah, pretty nice lineup. You guys know how we roll here. In order to test a palette, I feel like you can't just test 1 or 2 shades. So I try to test out as much as possible, like as many shades as possible. So it may get a little long-winded, a little redundant. Like, this isn't something that I would do on a daily basis, like use this many shades. But I can't tell you if something is good or bad if I only try 1 or 2 shades from it, you know? I'm gonna set my eye primer down. I'm gonna go into this matte Bone Ivory shade right here. I'm gonna take that on a big fluffy brush and just sweep this across my eye primer. Yeah, that went on extremely well. Very nice shade, extremely smooth. Like, it's not looking chalky. I mean, it's only 1 shade, but we're off to a good start. I usually try to go light to dark, so I'm gonna start with this lightest tan shade right here. I'm gonna get that on a big fluffy brush and just like sweep this through my crease. So right out the gate, these are not overly pigmented. Like, I can get a fair amount on the brush, but it's still not starting off with too much pigmentation to where it takes a long time to buff it out. Like, it is just so seamless and soft. Like, I feel like I'm barely having to put in any work and it's already softened out. So that took literally like 10 seconds. Let's move on to this second, like, mid-tone matte brown shade. Start it in the outer V to where the most product is there, and then just kind of dance it into that lower crease to really push the hoodedness back if you've got any. So again, you guys saw that in real time. Like, I'm not going to edit that out. Like, that literally blended itself out. Now I'm going to go into this matte, it's almost like a maroon brown, it's like a red undertone brick brown. And let's put in a little bit of color in the outer V. Ooh, that is very, very nice. So again, that is just meshing right in with the other shades. It doesn't look harsh. And I'm normally not wow factored right out the gate, but so far, this is kind of wow factor. Let's go into this bronzy shimmer right here in the middle of the palette with my finger. That looks like very basic bronze, but you know, still something to be said about a nice neutrally bronze tone. And let's put this towards the outer half of the eyelid, like just keeping it on the mobile eyelid. Very, very, very finely milled. Like this is not one of those shimmers that looks like crunched up aluminum foil to where it looks emphasizing of wrinkles or texture stuff. Like I think this would be really nice on pretty much everyone, like every kind of eyelid. But yeah, it's not a super in your face like gleamy metallic kind of finish. It's just a very toned down, it's just a nice shimmer. So now let's go into this lighter bronze shade right here. Let's see what that looks like. So yeah, just a slightly like a gold undertone bronze shade, and put that right in the middle. Again, we're going to be using a lot, but that's what we do to test. Wow, that's really nice. And look, you probably already have a similar color store in your collection. Like you most likely have shades just like this already. So I don't want you guys to ever feel pressured or feel like you've got to go out and buy what I'm talking about, because that's not why I do this. I just do reviews and do videos like this just to give you direction in case you do walk by something or you're browsing online and you see it and it's like, oh, is that good? And you don't know if you should trust the reviews and whatnot. But like, you can trust me. Like I got your back. I do not want to influence people to buy stuff. Like I just want to help people know where to put their money if they do want to buy stuff, you know? Okay, now I'm gonna go into which one I want to go into. I really want to try this shade up here, which is kind of like a lighter champagne, but I feel like this, I'm kind of doing like a step decrease. So I may go in with this one on my pinky, which is like a very light champagne gold, and put that in the very, very inner corner of my eyelid. Hell, I may still use this lighter shade of my tear duct. I'm trying to use it all. That's really pretty. It's not as gold on the eyes as it looked whenever I swatched it. Like it's got some brightness to it, which I didn't really see initially. My pinky won't contort. See, I'm gonna take this one on a brush just so I can be more precise, because my pinky is like, the nose and the pinky are kind of fighting for space. So I'm gonna take this and put this in the very immediate tear duct, like right on my nose. And I feel like it's kind of in a space where you can't see a whole lot about it, but it's in there. This came together so fast, so easy. It looks so clean. That is very impressive. And again, I'm not easily impressed. So my little shtick is to go into dark browns, dark blacks, whatever, and use them as liner. I'm not really a liner person that much right now. I mean, I do have a liner to use, but yeah, I really just like a good smoked out eyeshadow liner. So I'm gonna go into that dark brown, which I'm afraid it's not gonna be dark enough for eyeliner, like the look of liner, but we're gonna try it anyway. So I'm gonna take that on a tiny little brush and just kind of put this right at the base of the lashes. Okay, so yeah, the buildability of this doesn't really, that definitely did something, but it's definitely not that super in your face shadowy liner look. Like I could go for something a little bit more dark and intense and pigmented for this, but I mean, you can see a difference from side to side. It's a really subtle liner look. So I'm gonna go back into that ivory matte shade and just kind of pop this on the brow bone for some added brightness and just more strategic brightening up there. Like I just think this looks so pretty and just really cleans everything up, makes everything look more crisp, and just kind of makes your crease pop a little bit more, so you can see from side to side. That's what I do on a daily basis. So for eyeliner, I have this gel eyeliner in the shade Black Brown. So yeah, this is just your traditional creamy gel pencil that you have to sharpen, so it's not retractable where you can twist it up. But let's swatch it back here. So these are actually pretty highly rated on the Ulta website. So yeah, that's a really nice, like actual black brown. Like it's a really, really dark brown. It's very rich. I've actually had this one for a very long time, but I've not really used it a whole lot because, like I said, I just don't really use eyeliners themselves a whole lot. Like I usually use shadows, so I haven't really used it enough to be able to say if it's good or not, like if I love it or not. Now I've got pretty sensitive eyes. Like I have a hard time finding good liners. Like usually they puddle in my outer and inner corners. They'll, smudge off. Like, very creamy. There's no tugging. It just completely glides on. Yeah, it blends out really nicely. Like it's not one that sets down too fast where there's no blendability with it whatsoever. Like I like playtime, and this definitely does have playtime. So really nice shade, very nice formula, but the true test is how does it wear. So for mascara, I have this Lash Flash Warm Water Wash Off Mascara. I think I also got this one in like a free gift bag or something, so this does come free a lot of the time. So it does have a pretty nice wand on it. Like it's one of those kind of like the Benefit They're Real, where it's got a little ball tip on the end, which I love. I think it's so beneficial for the inner and outer corner. It's not one that's really dried out a whole lot over the last couple of months that I've had it, so I do have to scrape off. Like it looks very wet on the wand. I've actually been using this one for my lower lashes because the times that I have used it for my top, I've not really enjoyed it. There's what one layer looks like. So I did get some specks, like some transfer, some kickback from the lashes onto my eyelid, which I'm not happy about. Yeah, very, very wet formula, and I feel like it's one that, like, because it's so separating, it doesn't really give a lot of thickness. Like I can see through my lashes, but I can also see it kind of weighing my lashes down already. You probably can't see that in real life. I'm kind of afraid to do this. This is probably going to make everything go downhill, and I'll have to probably take my makeup off after this, but we're going to try a second coat. Okay, yeah, my lashes, they just completely lost a curl. They are so straight now. So yeah, I'm going to go on this side, and I'm going to show you guys what 2 layers versus 1 looks like. Yeah, there's what 1 layer looks like versus 2. So as you can see, I feel like this side it looks more weighed down. Like you can definitely see, like it looks like a lot more weighed down, a lot more flattened out, and this side just it's maintaining that uplifted effect. So yeah, I just don't think the effect is that pretty. Like it's just like at first it's very separating, but then it turns very clumpy, and then like it gives me see-through lashes. Like you can see into my eyeliner area, and I just that's a no-go for me. Yeah, that's a bad mascara. So I actually bought 2 different face primers, and like these were ones I swatched on my hand, and just it was wow factor. Hopefully I get that wow factor on my face. First one I have is this Nourishing Face Primer Oil. I felt this on my hand and it felt so smoothing and just very, very hydrating and stuff. So I'm really excited about this one. It says, with CoQ10 to help reduce the appearance of fine lines and vitamin-rich natural oils to hydrate the skin. So that's what the oil one says. And I also got this Cool and Glow face primer. But again, I swatched it. It felt so smoothing. Like it felt like it's going to be one that's going to be very like pore filling and blurring and, you know, just all kinds of good things. So it's supposed to be kind of cooling, and it looks like there's some like menthol ingredients in here, like menthol stuff. So yeah, let's do one on each side. This may affect the wear and performance of the foundation we're gonna be testing out today, but we're just playing. We're just having fun. So let's start with the Cool and Glow one first. Yeah, what's really cool about this one is that in the bottle, it looks like it's this really cool toned white, purpley pink iridescent shade, but when you swatch it, and I'm assuming on the face too, it's got a really nice like gold warmth to it. Like it just looks really, I don't know, it just looks really beautiful. So let's try to use what I've got on my hand just so I don't waste it. So let's put it on this side, and all I've got on my face right now is moisturizer. So we're not rocking a whole lot, and it's been sitting for a while, so it's had time to absorb and really get the true sheen and finish of the primers that we're using. So yeah, can you see that warmth? Like it's got like, how does it turn from purpley pink to gold sheen? Like it's very odd. It's not really doing anything special for my pores. I do feel a very, very slight cooling sensation, not overwhelming or anything. Ooh, I like that. That feels tingly. So yeah, very, very pretty glow. It's definitely a noticeable difference. Like you can see from side to side, like this. Beautiful sheen, very, very nice, and this is just bleh. But yeah, here's the consistency of the primer oil. So it's pretty thin. It's definitely got that drip to it. Like it's not really thick and viscous, but let's go ahead and put it on this side now. So I feel a little bit, I could be wrong. No, I don't think I am. I feel a little bit of peeling with my moisturizer underneath, and I don't think it's going to be a problem necessarily, but I can definitely feel that balling up, peeling coming off. I may just be better off just kind of patting it into the skin. Like we all may be better off just patting it into the skin. But yeah, it does feel not too oily. Like it doesn't feel super slippery and greasy or anything. Like it just feels like my skin is very moisturized and stuff. I may apply a little bit more. Very nice sheen and luminosity and glow. Yeah, I feel like if you tap this in instead of like rubbing it and stuff, it definitely doesn't give you that balling and that peeling up. So I do recommend kind of tapping it in versus like dragging. But yeah, I don't really feel the balling up anymore, so that's a good thing. For foundation, I had the moisturizing foundation stick. I got the shade light to medium warm. It says natural finish. I like that. We're off to a good start. Medium to buildable coverage, available in 24 shades with multiple undertones, buttery soft texture that melts into the skin. Hyaluronic acid helps to moisturize and condition skin. Green tea extract provides antioxidant benefits. Vitamin C and E help to condition, brighten, and even skin tone. Soft focus powders work to blur texture. Translucent gelling polymer helps to give a smooth and silky finish. Botanical waxes help foundation apply and blend seamlessly onto the skin. Let's see how buttery this is. Ooh, okay. Very, very buttery. That is super creamy. Like this is one that I swatched in a store, and again, it was just kind of like, oh my God, like I need that. And I feel like each of these are set down enough to where I can go ahead and start. See, I'm just going to swatch a little bit on the back of my hand starting out, and then just pick it up with a round, like dome shaped brush. This is the Sephora, I think it's called the foundation match or foundation matchmaker. I don't know what it's called. I'm not sure if this is still available, but I will link it if I can find it because it is beautiful. So let's start on this side, and I may not get very much coverage doing it this way, so I may actually have to go into the stick on my face, but we're gonna try it this way first. Shade wise, not as dark as I thought. I think I can work with this. Okay, you know what? We're just gonna go ahead and do it. Whatever. What's the worst that can happen? You know, gonna break out. Okay, so it's blending out very, very well. And I do want to point out that whenever I test out foundations, I normally don't ever use primers, but like I said, we're just kind of testing out the entire collection, so I didn't want to be too picky and, too, ruly. Like, I didn't want to make too many rules about what I was going to use or not use. Hey, so, pretty good coverage. Definitely is buildable. Starting out, it seemed like it was more on the light side, so I feel like you could really wear this more sheared out or go in and build it up. So I'm gonna pick it up from the stick like this. Let's try that. But yeah, that looks so pretty on the skin. Oh my God, I love that. This side will be the true test of the coverage because this side has a lot of stuff to cover up. So I'm gonna do the same thing and just pick it up from the stick itself. I may go in and do the little swapping stuff, but let's just try this starting out. But I mean, that's pretty good coverage. A lot to medium starting out for sure. That is looking so nice. Like, it's building up very, very well. Like, it doesn't really take a whole lot to build up that coverage. It's also sinking right into the skin. Like, there's no blending issues, no tugging. It's just melting right in. So far, the description is holding up. There's what it looks like, just very lightly built up. So I feel like that's almost full coverage. Like, if you don't have very much, then this will be an easy full coverage for you. So yeah, I just want to test out to see how much we can really get. So I'm gonna go straight in. Ooh, it's so buttery. Ooh, that definitely got me more coverage. I think I'm gonna stop there. That's looking very nice on the skin. It's not emphasizing pores. Texture is covering up the acne beautifully. So you can definitely see a finish difference from primer oil to the Cool and Glow face primer side. So yeah, there's what that looks like. And here's the primer oil. So this side just looks more set down, and this side has more sheen, more of that tack to it. Like, it looks like it's gonna be kind of transferable. Yeah, I'm gonna leave those alone. We'll go ahead and move on to some other products, and we'll come back and see how they set down. So for concealer, this is another one that I was playing around with in the store, just swatching it, and it felt so high end. Like, it felt like what I would imagine NARS Creamy Radiant Concealer to feel like, even though why have I never touched that one? So this is the Youthful Glow Concealer, and I had to get the shade medium cool, which may or may not work for me. Like, I'm not medium in literally anything, like for my face, let alone my under eyes, so this may be too dark, but when I swatched it, it looked like it would be good enough. $10 at the Ulta, and it says dewy finish, medium coverage, super fine powders and tiny gold particles help create an ultra luminous finish, available in 16 shades with multiple undertones. Hyaluronic acid works to moisturize and hydrate the skin, leaving it smooth and supple. Jelly silicone oils give formula a creamy texture for comfortable wear, and vitamin E acts as a skin conditioning antioxidant. So let's put it right under here, and it has a bit of like a peachy undertone, which hopefully will help me kind of kill two birds with one stone. So let's go ahead and dab this out. It is a tad bit dark, like I can see where I put it, so it looks more like I put on a corrector in the wrong step. Coverage wise, it's not really giving me a whole lot, so I can still see my dark circles. Like, honestly, it doesn't really look a whole lot different than it did before. This time I'm gonna put it on and really focus it on that area, like my caves right there, and we're gonna let it sit there for maybe like 1 minute. All right, it's been exactly 1 minute, so I'm gonna go in and do the same thing, and I might have to go into a white concealer, like a white pigment, just to kind of lighten it up after this, because it definitely, like, you can see where it is because it's too dark. Okay, so I think that did give me a little bit better coverage, like maybe like a half a step up, but it's still pretty light coverage. So if you're someone that doesn't have very prominent dark circles, this might be great for you. I like the way it's sitting on the skin. It's very, very dewy, so it's definitely got that right, but yeah, a little too dark. So I'm gonna go into my LA Girl HD Pro Concealer in the shade White Corrector. And this normally doesn't give me any kind of extra effect. Like, it really doesn't affect the performance or anything of the product that you're mixing with it, but it just kind of lightens things up. So yeah, because I want to be fair with it, let's just go ahead and use this. That helped a little bit, but I can still see my little cave and the darkness a little bit peeking through. So yeah, I don't know. I need to go exchange this for a different shade. I'm just going to bounce over it with my foundation brush and just kind of mix it in with the shade that my foundation was to make it look a little more normal. So That's okay. For bronzer, I've got two. So the first one I have is this Faux Glow Matte Bronzer, and I picked up the shade Medium to Deep. And I'm normally not into matte bronzers anymore because I just don't really feel like they're that natural or like that realistic. But I swatched this one and it felt so buttery and soft, number one. But also, it was just a really good undertone. And then I also picked up the Baked Bronzer, and I guess there's only one shade in this one. But I love bronzers like this. Like, this puts me in mind of one of my favorite bronzers of all time. This is the Laura Geller Baked Body Frosting in the shade Tahitian Glow. But it's just this really pretty marbleized baked bronzer, and it looks so natural. Like, it looks like a realistic tan on the skin because it's not matte. It's got a really pretty satiny kind of finish, and it just blends in so beautifully. So I kind of compare everything to this, to be honest. So yeah, there's what the Ulta one looks like. So it's this really pretty marbleized baked bronzer situation, and then here's the Laura Geller one. So we might have a dupe on our hands, people. Let's swatch the baked one first. So yeah, there's what that looks like. So yeah, you can see that really pretty, just natural sheen. Like, it's just a really pretty satin finish. Let's swatch it next to the Laura Geller one. Why not? Oh, my friends, I found what I believe is an exact dupe. Here's Laura Geller, and here's the Ulta Beauty one. I mean, the tones are almost the exact same. Maybe a tad more shimmer in the Ulta formula, but those look so freaking close. And then here is the matte one. So yeah, really pretty, just neutral undertone. Like, I love bronzers like this. Like, they're actually pretty hard to come by because it's hard to find like a neutral undertone bronzer. So let's do the matte one on this side. So I'm gonna take it with a big fluffy brush like this, and let's just kind of stipple it on. Really pretty, very natural, and it's matte, but it's not too matte. Like, that's actually really pretty. I'm gonna go ahead and dust off my brush and just use that same one. Let's go ahead and go on this side. Yeah, that sheen, like the glow that it gives, it's not one of those glows that looks like, oh, it's gonna make me more oily or something. Like, yeah, there's what the baked bronzer side looks like. So you can almost see, like, it almost looks like there's a slight bit of like a highlighter on, but not, like I said, like not in a greasy, oily, shiny kind of way. Like, it just gives a really pretty natural sheen, beautiful undertone, looks so realistic. But they're both very pretty. Like, I really like both of these. So moving on to eyebrows, because I forgot to do that. So I don't really have much, but I do have an eyebrow gel that came in like one of those free gift bags. So this is just their clear brow gel. I really, really do like the wand on this though. This is the perfect size. Like, it is so small. Okay, so there is a little bit of some brushing up action. So we'll come back to that later on and see how it dries down. I really don't like brow gels that make my, like they make my brows and also my entire like forehead region feel very tight. Like, I feel like I can't move them, and I don't like that sticky like glue feeling. So we'll see how this continues to dry down. For blush, I have this Blush Beam Cream Blush in the shade Flamingo Flock. This is a really pretty universal warm pinky coral with a gold sheen. It's very NARS Orgasm, but I don't think it's as dark. I will say I don't like to dip my brush into the pan. I feel like it picks up too much product, and it's one of those that like the texture and consistency is kind of tacky on it. I actually like it better like picking it up from the back of my hand. I may like dip into it from the pan, but then I like to knock off a lot of it on my hand and then go into it. The amount of glow that you get will obviously depend on, you know, what your base is looking like. So if you have a really glowy finish foundation, then this will look pretty glowy, like pretty extreme. But look at this, like this is a more matte base. Like I've got that matte bronzer and stuff on, so it really dulled down a lot of that glow. So I did tap my brush in and go directly into my skin versus tapping off the excess, and there is a good amount right here. Like this just, it's very pigmented, so if you don't knock it off, it can be a little too much, a little too fast. So I do recommend working from your hand, but yeah, you can see the color a lot better on this side, I feel like. So yeah, just beautiful finish. It's not like obvious chunky sparkle or glitter or shimmer. Like it's just very high-end looking. The brow gel did dry. It's not super glue-like. It's not sticky. It doesn't make my forehead feel tight and feel like I can't move it or anything. I prefer, for me, like where I don't really use a lot of brow pencils and brow powders and stuff nowadays, like I like a tinted brow gel. This probably won't get very much use from me, but I think it's still pretty good. We'll say 3:30 for our check-in time because I have been done for a few minutes now. So yeah, there's what my makeup looks like, and everything that I've used today, and also like stuff that I've not put in the video will be in the description box below, and a full-on makeup breakdown. I mean, I'm very impressed. Like I feel like we've been sitting on the Ulta collection for a long time now. I am extremely impressed with my skin. It's very rare that I have a good skin day with my acne and stuff, and this This is a good skin day. My skin looks buttery smooth. Like, it looks milky and creamy. I've got coverage, but it doesn't look caked on, like it's super thick and heavy and stuff. Like, even on this side where I've got a lot of texture and stuff to cover up, it still looks just so natural. And also, I do want to point out with the brow gel, I didn't have a hard time going into a brow pencil afterwards. A lot of times brow gels, they just have so much stick and grip that they almost make it hard to go in with like a brow pencil or a brow powder afterwards. This one, like, I had no problems with that brow pencil going on, so that's good. We'll see how everything wears, and I'll come back this evening and we'll do a final roundup. So I'll see you then. All right, guys, final checkout time. It is now 10:08 at night. Our check-in time is 3:30, so we are on our way to 7 hours. Starting off strong, the Eyeshadow palette is a 10 out of 10 hit for me. Like, this I 100% recommend. The gel eyeliner pencils, bright side, I have no smudging, smearing, puddling, nothing like that in terms of wear, so that's definitely a good sign. It's still one of those eyeliners that I'm still not 100% sure about it. I think it's worth checking out, but I can't firmly stamp my approval and say that it's going to be extremely long wearing, good for the waterline, good for everybody. Like, I feel like I'm still kind of on the fence about it. So for me, it's not a must-have. I mean, shade selection's awesome, price is good, it's very blendable, it's very creamy, it smudges out nicely, it sets down nicely, and I mean, basic wear is pretty good. The Lash Flash Mascara was my least favorite product from this video. Like, this is something that I do not recommend at all. I mean, wear is pretty good, like there's no wear issues or anything, but the effect is just not my cup of tea, so this is a no-go for me. So I just realized that this is a tubing mascara. Yeah, should have read the description. I will say it was very hard to remove with cleansing oil, which is kind of odd. It actually does remove better with just warm water. I'd make that make sense. The clear brow gel. This is actually pretty good if you do like a clear brow gel. Like I said, I'm personally more of a tinted brow gel kind of person, but I mean, the hold is really nice. It's not sticky. It's not glue-like. Like, it doesn't make my face feel really tight and just like stiff. Like, I can't move my eyebrows. So I mean, hold is really nice. Like, it's a nice, comfortable, good hold, you know. But I mean, it's just a basic clear brow gel, but it is good. Primer oil. I think this will come in handy with a lot of foundations and like a lot of situations, like especially in the wintertime when I'm going to get more dry and stuff. And I do think that this will definitely serve a purpose, but I will say I do see a difference in just the wear from side to side. I mean, I don't have bad wear with this one by no means, but I do see a little more fading on this side, and throughout the day I've seen more of a dewy finish, which that could be what you're going for. If it is, definitely check it out because it is a good product. But the Cool and Glow face primer side, this, like, every time I've looked in the mirror today, I've been like, whoa. I am very rarely ever impressed with face primers. Most of the time, any kind of effect that a primer gives, it goes away after you apply foundation. But this is one that after I applied foundation, I still felt it. Like, I felt that cooling sensation, but also I saw the effect after foundation. And in terms of wear, I almost never see any major difference with primers, and this, like, seeing it from side to side, I see a dramatic difference in how this side looks compared to this side. I've got no creasing, no settling, no sinking into pores, nothing. Like, every square inch of my face on this side looks perfected. Like, this is a beautiful performing face primer. And then the moisturizing foundation stick. I truly did not expect that much from this. It built up very well. It never looked cakey. It never got thick feeling. Like, it was never that pancakey kind of texture like a lot of stick foundations are. It was just so buttery smooth. Again, I would consider this to be like a creamy, milky satin finish. And again, with primer anyway, no creasing, settling, sinkage. It doesn't make my skin look aged. It feels so lightweight. It's not one that I'm just thinking about. Like, I'm not just itching to take it off and remove my makeup. So it's one that definitely, like, sensorially it feels nice. This is another win. The concealer I'm kind of on the fence about. I do want to try a different shade in this. Like I said, what they had in the store, it wasn't like they didn't have the shades I needed, but the coverage was pretty lacking. Like, it definitely is a more light coverage. So I think this is going to be one that sits really nicely on wrinkles and fine lines and stuff. Or if you have a really dry under eye, I think this will be a really good formula for that. But if you're someone like me that you just need a hint more coverage, I'm not sure if this will do it for you. I mean, wear's pretty good. I just didn't really like the shade that I bought. The Faux Glow Matte Bronzer is one of the best matte bronzers I've tried. in a while. Then the baked bronzer. I love the finish, love the sheen, love the blend, the undertone, everything about it. The cream blush. Also love this. It's still going strong on both sides. It's just a really pretty texture and consistency, and I love the color too. Like, this is a very universally flattering color. Yeah, what were the duds? The mascara? I mean, that's it. I am very impressed. There are very few times I leave a video feeling pumped, feeling like I actually found a bunch of good like hidden gems and stuff, and this has been a successful one. So yeah, if you guys like this video, you want to see more like full face, one brand tutorials or reviews, and make sure you give this a big old thumbs up. Here are a couple more things that you might want to check out next. So just venture around, make yourself at home. Subscribe if you're not already, and turn the notification bell on to always see my stuff. And I will see you guys in the next one. Mwah.